Hi everyone, I'm Andrea Lynn. We are here to learn how to crochet the Plarn into the sleeping mats for the homeless. And for this particular mat here, I used a 19mm hook. But here in Boulder City, Nevada, the project is really getting big. And we have a lot of people who are asking to learn how to do it with their fingers instead of a hook. That way we don't have to worry about purchasing them. So if you are interested in learning how to do that, let's take a look. It's not too hard. If you already know how to crochet, then it's a fairly easy principle, but we have lots of people who are learning how to do this who've never crocheted before, so that's really cool. So just real easy, we'll start with making a knot at the end, big enough to put your finger and eventually your thumb into also. So we're going to start just by making a simple chain like you would with any beginner project here, starting out. Okay, so I don't know if you saw that, sorry, let me back up. You put your index and your thumb in the hole, and then grab the strand and pull it through. So now you have a new loop. And do the same thing. Put your finger and thumb through that, grab the strand, and pull it through. Okay, and you're slowly going to build a chain here. Okay, you're just going to keep doing it. Readjust your finger, put it back in there with your thumb, grab the strand, pull it through. And you do that a few times. Well, ultimately you want to measure out about 3 feet. Go about 3 feet in width. It shrinks a little bit, so it gets to be about 2.5 feet or so, which I think is a good width to end up with. Okay, so let's just do a couple more. And then length, you may want to shoot for about 6 feet. We think that's about an average size. That works for most full-grown people. So okay, so I only have just a few links here, but just to kind of show you the principle. So when you're at the end, when you get to the end of your first row, you're just going to turn around and go back. So it may look very messy. That's okay. It gets a lot neater and cleaner as you move. Sometimes you may have to take your finger out and kind of go the other way so that it works a little better. And I'm just going to start working backwards. Pick the first hole closest to where you're at, put your index in there. Now you've got 2 loops that your finger is through. Same thing, put your thumb in there, pinch it and pull it through. And you'll notice if you can try to keep the loops loose, it's great, because then it's easier to put your finger back in there as you're going back. So work loose, and that also provides for a more it seems like a more cushiony mat in the final result. So it's good to kind of work loosely. This here, anyone with experience will see, is just a slip stitch is what I'm doing. I don't know anything fancier because I don't really know how to crochet. I learned this simple stitch when I was a teenager and had to really try to remember it when I got involved with this. But that's all this is. If you know something fancier, then put it to use. We've got some girls at the church making some really beautiful mats with their fancy crochet designs. So, but I'm real easy and simple here with this. So it shows anybody can do it. So if you're watching, you just one at a time, you get to the end. Okay? One at a time. You may have to reach in and pinch or push it through with your other finger. And you're basically doing the same thing that the hook would do if you're used to crocheting. Okay. So I want to get to the end because there's an additional step that we do at the end of row 2 going into row 3. And it's the same thing that you'll do at the end of row 3 going into 4 and so on until your mat is done. If you want to have a rectangular mat versus an oval mat, there's a step you have to take, and that means when you get to the very end of your strand, which is where I'm at right now, instead of just turning around and going back like we did the first time, now there's something new we have to do every time. When we get to the end, reach in, grab your strand, and just make an additional kind of extra loop out there. I didn't put my finger into anything because I was at the end. I just reached in, grabbed, and made an extra loop. Now I'm going to turn around and go back. I have to readjust my finger, take it out, and put it in the other way so it'll make it smoother when I'm going back. And when you're returning back, you can see the pattern is developing, so you know where to put your finger in. And that's pretty much it. okay? At the end of every row, you want to give yourself that extra loop so it has slack. Otherwise, you're going to get an oval, okay? That will keep it rectangular. And that again, that should cover it. So thank you everyone who's participating. All of the residents and community members of Boulder City, Nevada, all of our love and thanks to you. Thank you. And we hope that this project is spreading throughout the country everywhere. Okay? God bless. Lots of love. Thanks again.